Hey, Leo here. Listen, I tell you, it's always a privilege to have folks like yourself join me for just a quick mindset moment. And today I want to talk about the fact that it's really important that we think about how leadership is engaged and why. Tune in. Now, I said that it's very important for us to understand how leadership is engaged and why, because just recently I came across an article from the Harvard Business or published in the Harvard Business Review, and it actually talks about the future of leadership development. Now, one of the first things that's said in this article is that leadership development is of a urgent need currently. Now, I find that to be unique and interesting because we've had leadership development for years. I mean, over the last 20 plus years, John Maxwell and many people of his caliber have been really giving a lot of value in the way of leadership development. But they go on in this article and they talk about some different things you can do, some different things that exist like cloud-based learning related to leadership development. But they say something that really speaks to the heart of the issue that they don't really go into in more detail. And that is this, that much of the leadership development content is focused on the mechanics, is focused on a lot of the theory, information, things of that sort. But what happens is people are getting this training and two things are happening primarily. One, they're getting this training is being paid for by corporations and organizations. They're getting this training and they're using it on their resumes to actually move up in the trajectory of their career progression. The other thing that's happening is they're not really using it. Now, those two things speak to really what's going on with the context of leadership development. It's not that we actually need leadership development and that in of itself is of an urgent need. What's really needed is that we need to develop the mindset around leadership. In other words, we need some leadership finesse. We need some leadership wizardry, as I call. And why do I use the term wizardry or finesse? Because what's really needed is a means of being able to effectively make use of the leadership mechanics that we've been taught so that we could actually make valuable, effective impact with it, right? Okay, here's the reality. So let me give you a picture. So there was a story that a young lady shared with me who's a colleague of mine, talked to me about related to her, what was it, when she was running track in middle school. And so she started out running track. She saw the 100, the 200. She was excited about it. It's like, hey, this is my race. And anything past 200, she was like, not doing it, right? So her coach comes to her one day and says, hey, listen, I want you to run long distance. And she's looking at the coach like, long distance, what's that? And he explains it's 4 times around track. She's like, coach, I don't know if you know, but I run short distance. I run sprints. I run 100, 200, nothing past that. Don't even go 1 time around the track, right? And so she says, so the coach is like, oh, no, you be great at it. You be great at it and so on and so forth. And she's like, okay. And so, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to put you in the mile. We're going to have you run long distance. And she's like, well, why are you doing that? And he's like, hey, cause I believe in you. He didn't say it like that. And she's like, well, I believe I'm going to quit. And I quit, is what she said. Now you say, Leo, what's that all about? Here's why I'm saying that. That coach was a leader. And that coach was exercising what he thought was leadership mechanics, what he thought was within the context of his ability to influence and make a difference. Now, I heard what was said and I was like, man, he missed it. What do you mean he missed it? He missed the opportunity to actually lead. Why? Because he made the leadership, listen to me carefully, he made the leadership about his position and not about her potential. See, when we lead people, okay, when we lead ourselves, you know, we can lead based on our potential, but our position, but it still doesn't go too far. You've got to focus at the level of potential in order for leadership to really be effective. Why? Because especially when you're dealing with other people, you've got to create buy-in. See, that's one of the laws of leadership from John Maxwell. You got to create buy-in. Well, how do you create buy-in? Focusing on what you believe is most important and valuable. You can't. So where he failed was he did not shift the focus to her and her potential. Let me give you an example. I asked her, I said, so what if your coach would have said this? I first of all told her, I said, listen, it's not necessarily that you wouldn't have been great at long distance. And it's not that your coach was wrong. What if he would approach it this way? How would you have responded? I said, so he says, hey, I see that you're doing really well, the 200, 100. And I see some things that, you know, might be able to be tweaked and uniquely dealt with. But let me ask you this question. What if I could show you how to run around the track 4 times and be able to take the same strength, speed, tactics, and thoughtfulness and skill and ability that you have at the 200 and 100 and put it into those 4 times around and make you one of the greatest ever at it? What do you think about that? Would you be open to it? She said, now that's a different conversation. She's like, Leo. I said, oh, don't mind me. I said, that is the power of focusing on potential versus position. See, he thought because he was her leader that she would just respond just because he was her leader. But that's not why people respond. Matter of fact, there's one of my at a distance mentors, Myron Golden. He always says, people do anything for one reason and one reason only. There's not 12 reasons, 10 reasons. It's the one reason only. And it's because they feel like it. Well, guess what? He didn't help her feel like running long distance. He didn't even show her how running long distance could maximize, unlock, or leverage her potential that she hadn't tapped into. So when it comes to leadership, here's the truth. It's not that we have a leadership development issue that is of the urgency. The truth is, it's an urgent need to develop leadership mindset. You hear me now?